Happy Friday! If this is your first time here, my name is Jasmine and I watch a shit ton of TV. So we start season 2, episode 10 of The Valley with Jax being picked up from rehab. And I have to say, the dark cloud just continued to get darker with this. I have said it before. I will scream it from the rooftops. Jax is not needed on this show. While he was gone for those few episodes, we still had a really high entertainment value. There was still drama. There were still other storylines for people to be invested in, and we just don't really need him. He brings such a negative energy to everything, and he makes himself the victim of everything. Nothing is ever his fault, and that's the most frustrating thing to see. He was trying to garner so much sympathy when he was in the car with Jesse, and he's like, when I was in rehab, nobody could hurt me, nothing can hurt me. Sweetie, you're the one that is hurting people. You're the one. It ain't safe on the streets when you're out there. What are you talking about? The entire scene was just him victimizing himself. And then in the very next scene, he's telling Jesse that he's just going to invite himself to Zach's party, even though Zach doesn't want him there. But his reasoning is like, well, Zach's having his party at your house, meaning Jesse, and you're my friend, so I'm coming. Jax has not changed at all, and he's not going to change. And while we're talking about Jesse, initially I said that Jesse was such a jerk for not allowing their daughter Isabella to be able to spend time with her grandmother. Michelle said her mother is dying of cancer. She wanted their daughter to be able to spend time with her before the inevitable happens. And the way that Michelle painted it was like Jesse just was like, no. And that's the thing that I'm learning about Michelle is she doesn't tell the full truth about things. She will tell the truth in a way to really paint Jesse in the worst light possible. And then you get the other side. And I'm not saying that I just 100% agree with Jesse or with Michelle. I mentioned I'm not team any of these people. I think they're both pretty bad, but I do want to say that I understood what Jesse meant when he was talking to Nia and Danny later in the episode about why he had some hesitation. He said he didn't flat out say no, but he said he wanted to have a conversation with his daughter about what death really is. She's going through a lot. She's 5 years old. Her parents are divorcing. They both moved into different homes. They're both dating other people. And now she's going to go spend a week with this person that is going to pass away. That is a lot for a child to take on. Hell, that's a lot for an adult to handle. So he was 100% correct in the fact that he just wants to protect his daughter by having these hard conversations with her before she has to witness something else that's going to really rock her world. And I can't argue with that. Michelle also in this episode, in that scene when she was standing outside with her boyfriend Aaron, and she said that her daughter was asking if they should move in with Aaron or if they could move in with Aaron. I think Michelle also uses her daughter a lot to say things that she really wants to say, because a couple episodes back, she said that her daughter said something about it being okay if she married Aaron. And I'm like, Michelle, these are the things that you want. And it's so creepy to say that it's coming from your daughter. No 5-year-old is actually really thinking about things like that. And if she did say it, she's not saying it in the ways that Michelle is presenting it. Now, if what Michelle is saying about Jesse spending all of their money is true, then I understand her wanting to jump into another marriage, another serious relationship, move in with another person because she's financially unstable. So I understand wanting the financial stability. Just don't use your daughter to say the things that you really want to say. When we get to the scene where they're having dinner with the boys to welcome Jax back, I could not believe how much they were going after Danny. Now, I've mentioned in previous videos that I think that because Danny and Nia is a pageant queen, so she is willing to protect her image at all costs. So I understand that if there is an issue with Danny's drinking, they're never going to admit it on this TV show. We have seen some instances where it might be like, okay, probably a little something there, but you can't force people to admit to something that they are unwilling to have shown in a public light. I don't blame them for that, but it's getting really tired that they are not only trying to out Danny as this like alcoholic sexual abuser, but they're doing it in a way to where they are comparing his actions to Jax and making it seem like he's worse than Jax. Now, we've had over 10 years of watching Jax be the same exact way. I don't think Danny compares at all. And even if they do have some issues, Jax has way more, and those guys have a lot of nerve for trying to ambush him at that dinner like that. Because for Jason to imply that Danny was an alcoholic at the table, that was a super low blow, and that's just not the way that you treat your friends. It does seem like there was an agenda this year to come in and go for Danny and Nia's marriage, and I don't know how I feel about that. I think if there are real issues and real things to bring up, let them happen organically, but that's become my issue with reality TV is everything is so overly produced. Like people getting together before the season to talk about who they're going to take take down this season. That's so late to me. Just let stuff happen organically. If you guys are that interesting and that entertaining, there's going to be drama. These people are married young couples in LA. That seems like a recipe for drama all on its own. You don't need to manufacture it. And so we get to the scene where everybody is at Jesse's house for Benji's welcome back party. And of course, Janet is there with her little shit-eating grin. Janet has the most slappable face on the show. Every time she's trying to take somebody down or tell someone about themselves, because what do you mean you're more upset about what Danny did to Melissa and Jasmine than Melissa and Jasmine are? I don't understand what her hard-on is for them. Janet is so weird and I don't enjoy her at all. In the same scene, we see Jax come to the party and the energy completely shifts. He brings such a darkness with him, and that's also why a lot of people are calling for him to just be off of the show and for Bravo to be done with him. He never takes accountability. Even when Zach was confronting him, he tried to use that as an opportunity to air everyone else out because he just can't take the fact that he's a bad person. And then he ends that conversation with saying, "This is my show." And I was thinking, isn't that why Lisa Vanderpump was so pissed at him during the Vanderpump Rules era? Because he kept saying it was his show. And she's like, no, this is my show. He's so arrogant in that way. And I know the Valley was created with Jax and Brittany in mind. But like I said, we've gotten so many other interesting couples and storylines and dynamics that we don't need them anymore. So Jax, this show might have been created with you in mind, but it does not need you to survive. But that's going to be it for me, guys. I'm going to be watching some new shows next week, and I'll be able to bring you recaps of them. Until then, you guys have a good one. Bye.